Good evening, friends. As promised, today I am going to discuss generally on the topic of requirement of gender neutral law in India. There is nothing like that. There is no such law, gender neutral law in India. There is a gender POXO Act, Prevention of Sexual Offences Against the Children, is a gender neutral law, but effectiveness or execution of the gender neutrality in this case is debatable. The other offenses, common offenses, sexual assault, rape, sexual exploitation, matrimonial law 498A, which is commonly said to be misused, prevention of sexual assault at office, workplace, which is the product of the Veseka judgment, and similar many more law in India are gender specific. Even recent Supreme Court judgment has created a social roar with respect to neutrality of the judgments, neutrality with regard to the gender, neutrality with regard to privacy of person. It should not be limited to the specific gender. There is also problem with respect to the custody of the child in matrimonial disputes. Then there is also discussion going on. Rather, I yesterday I received a message at WhatsApp wherein divorce was granted to a man on account of adultery committed by his wife, but permanent alimony of 10 lakh was imposed. That is, divorce was subject to the permanent alimony of 10 lakh. The message I received said, what is the need of divorce if one has to pay this huge amount, despite the fact that it has been admitted by the court on account of evidence that wife did not perform his obligation towards his husband and was having sexual relation with a third man. So the other thing is maintenance also. There is a requirement to make it also gender neutral. In case of women, it is said that she is not emotionally strong, physically strong. So she requires economic security vis-a-vis social, physical, emotional security. But Supreme Court has noticed in various recent judgments, specifically in the privacy judgment, Puttaswamy judgment, wherein it has been acknowledged that sexual right is a private right. Then Nalsa judgment, where is wherein third gender has been recognized, rights of third gender has been recognized. Then in the case of Joseph Sign, wherein 497, that is criminality in regard to adultery has been quashed. It is important to mention that rather you will be surprised to know The Joseph Sign case was filed by a person whose friend in Kerala has committed suicide on account of threat of false implication in the offense of rape by his co-worker woman who was having consensual sexual relation with him. But when it came to the knowledge of the family of that lady, she started threatening that man, leading him to commit the suicide. He has lost his life. But in case of man, it is generally said that they are strong, they have high level of emotions, they are mentally strong. But the thing has changed. It needs to be recognized with respect to males also. A social post have been shared at the LinkedIn wherein it was reported by with the data by the government of India that in every 8 minutes a man commits suicide in India on account of false implication under 498A IPC. It was further stated in our data that 82.5% FIR registered in 498A results in acquittal. That is 82.5 cases are false cases. Still FIR the registers, one has to run for the bail. I have shared a story with wherein father-in-law, mother-in-law, and husband at Panipat committed suicide after getting the bail from the Delhi on account of false implication under 498A. It is known to everyone. I have been in academics for the few days. Every academician says the first word, the misuse of law is 498A. Still, it is enforced. People lines up for the bail. Then another news reported by Times of India in the article, specific article with a detailed figure. It reads women not far behind in numbers in case of sexual relationship. Then there is a movie, Etraj. I hope everyone of you must have seen, or most of you must have seen, wherein the hero was sexually assaulted at his workplace by his boss. He was forced to face the trial. So these movies are reflecting the social reality. Even the Law Commission, in its 172 report way back in 2000, proposed for the gender neutral law. But still, we are not having the gender neutral law. The report of the Law Commission was not acceded to by the Parliament. Amendment was made in 2013 after the Nirbhaya case, but still there is gender bias. There is a recent judgment of surrogacy wherein Supreme Court says woman has complete autonomy over his body and sexual relation. Recently, there was split verdict by the Delhi High Court with regard to marital rape, but the observation were made in case of abortion judgment by the Supreme Court with regard to marital rape that it exists. So Before enforcing any law with respect to any gender, the change of circumstances, the change of time has to be looked into. There was a judgment by a high court wherein it was said that husband has to pay the maintenance to his wife by whatever mean he may have to beg, but he has to pay the maintenance. Is the law there to force someone to beg? There is reservation, 33% reservation for the women by the different states. There is a reservation for the women for the panchayat and local body elections. Still, man is forced to pay the maintenance. The child is not given to the father due to the age factor. I have written a very good article with respect to child custody. As categorically stated, it is the right of the child to have both the parents, not the right of a parent to have the child. It is a reverse. I have been approached by one of the government employee. He asked, he is working at his head office of the department. He asked at the district level to a woman officer to come to head office with certain files. That lady told him, if you ask me to come to head office, I will file complaint against you in regard to sexual harassment. By the God grace, everyone is having smartphone. There was recording, so he was somewhat relieved. But I asked him to keep the safe recording safe to avoid any future repercussions. So I personally felt at my workplace in my routine that I might have been harassed on account of gender by the female. What I did is different story. I didn't complain to anyone. I start avoiding going to that place in order to save myself. This is the thing most of the people do. So even people come to me, they say they are being harassed, what to do. The change in the society, social structure, although has been noted by the courts, but it seems to be limited with respect to the rights of a woman. Our president of India, she belongs to tribal community. I give example of her to a lot of person. She is the president without any reservation. She belongs to tribal community, no reservation. She is a strong lady, no reservation. I have read about her. She has lost his children, her husband. Despite that, she is a strong lady. Now she is a president of India. I personally respect the lady without reservation, without any emotional cry. She is leading a nation like India. So I will give another example. I was passing beside a playground. Some girls are playing volleyball. They were playing volleyball. One of them went to attend her mobile phone. The other girls told her, leave your mobile. Why you are flirting with the boys? You can flirt with the boys later on. Just come and play. So I was with my friend. We were shocked for a while, but then we see there is a empowerment in the woman. Woman empowerment. This is the woman empowerment. So for empowering a woman, there is no requirement of reservation. Empowerment does not mean to take away the right or to scum the other gender. Empowerment means to take both the genders together. So I hope my little discussion might help you to understand is the requirement of what and why is the requirement of gender neutral law. I have been discussing with a friend of mine. I told her, you appears to be a feministic from your words, from your message, from your status. She stopped talking to me on account when I have tried to make her understand that feminism is good, but it should not affect the mind to the extent that one started discriminating between male and female. So, with this discussion, I end my self and stop streaming further on this topic. Thank you very much and good night to all of you.